She said she started solo, but I was there from the very first stream. And now, I'm the ghost in her success story.
Hey everyone, real quick before we jump in. The channel's been slowing down a bit, and your support really helps. If you haven't already, hitting that subscribe button is a small way to make a big impact. It's free, takes a second, and helps us keep making the content you enjoy. Thanks so much. Now let's get into it.
You probably know her now as Leah Ray, the neon-haired, fast-talking, hyper-charismatic streamer who racks up millions of views just by reacting to TikToks in her pajamas, often with a cat on her lap and an energy drink in hand. Her face is plastered across Instagram Reels, clipped on TikTok edits, featured in Twitch highlight reels, and even blinking from digital billboards in downtown Toronto. She's got brand deals with energy drink companies, her own line of merch, fan edits on YouTube that rack up hundreds of thousands of views, and a Discord server with more members than the population of my old high school. She's everywhere, in memes, reaction compilations, articles. She's become her own brand. But back then, she wasn't Leah Ray. She was just Leah from Thorncliffe. My Leah. The girl who wore ripped tights and scuffed Vans, who doodled vines and swords in the margins of every notebook, and who always had an extra pen to lend me, even if it didn't work. The one who'd sneak out of algebra to buy bubble tea with me, even if it meant getting detention again. The one who'd sit cross-legged on my bed in a blanket cocoon while we watched Avatar, The Last Airbender, for the 100th time, and argued passionately about who would have made the better Fire Lord. Her answer was always Azula, mine was Zuko. It became a tradition. We never agreed, and that was the point. She wasn't famous, she was just my best friend. The kind you think will be your maid of honor one day, who you imagine babysitting your kids and laughing about old times on your porch when you're both gray and wrinkled. We met in 9th grade, during one of those endless early fall rains. I was already having a bad day. A pop quiz I bombed, my earbuds broke, and to top it off, I spilled an entire iced coffee across my lap and notebook. She passed by, took one look, snorted, and said something dry about the principal's tragic comb-over. I looked up, wet and humiliated, and laughed. We both did. It was stupid, but it cracked something open. That moment stuck, like gum on a sneaker. Inconvenient but unforgettable. From that point on, we were inseparable. Late-night texts that stretched into early morning voice notes. Dumb inside jokes no one else would ever find funny. Matching Halloween costumes 3 years in a row. First as zombies. We used tea bags for blood. Then as retired old ladies with walkers made from spray-painted PVC pipe. Then, in a stroke of genius, we went as each other. We had an unspoken rule. No secrets, no filters, no lies. Or at least, that's what I believed back then. Eventually, we started a joint Twitch channel, 2 clicks deep. It was part joke, part experiment. The streams were chaotic, often laggy, sometimes barely audible. Leah played Valorant like her life depended on it. Fingers flying, yelling at teammates, smack-talking like a pro. I preferred the quiet stuff, building cozy pastel Minecraft villages with bees and bookstores. Somehow the contrast worked. We had a few loyal viewers, mostly classmates, friends, and the occasional internet stranger who wandered in and stayed. We didn't stream for views. We streamed for each other, for fun. Back then, everything we did online felt like a secret clubhouse. No pressure, no algorithms breathing down our necks, no comment section wars or follower milestones. We were just 2 girls in thrifted hoodies, surrounded by LED string lights, trying to build something small and real in a world that often felt way too big and fake. But things change, fast and quietly, like a rift you don't notice until it's too wide to jump. Now, when I scroll through Instagram and see her face framed in perfect lighting, holding up some energy drink with thousands of likes rolling in by the second, there's this slow, tight twist in my chest, like a rubber band pulled too tight, snapping in slow motion. Or maybe like standing outside a house you used to live in, only to find it's been renovated beyond recognition. It's not hate. I don't resent her success. It's not even anger, really. It's something quieter, sadder, a dull ache, like a melody I can't hum anymore, like watching your favorite childhood book get turned into a flashy movie. You recognize the title, but none of the magic feels the same. Because before she blew up, before the fame and the brands and the stream raids, she was my best friend. And now I'm just the girl who knew her before she mattered. And I'm starting to wonder if that was ever enough. It didn't fall apart all at once. There wasn't a single explosive moment, No screaming match, no cryptic Instagram post, no last straw that broke the whole thing. Just a slow unraveling, a quiet slipping away, like the way a dream fades the moment you open your eyes. It was subtle at first, too subtle to really notice, like a leaky faucet that drips too slowly to wake you, but still floods the floor by morning. The first sign was Leah canceling our stream nights. At first, her reasons made sense. Family dinners, migraines, midterms. I didn't question it. We both had lives after all. But the excuses started stacking up like unread texts. Too tired, not really in the mood. Let's try next week. Eventually, she stopped giving reasons at all. I'd message her in our Discord thread, that once buzzing thread full of memes and screenshots and late night ideas. It went quiet, like an old house with the lights turned off. Our shared Google Doc, the one we poured hours into planning segments for our stream, sat untouched. I'd refresh it some nights, hoping I'd see the little cursor blink next to hers, but it stayed blank. Like the ghost town we both abandoned, but only one of us knew it. I still reached out. I asked, "Everything okay? Want to stream Friday? You free this weekend?" She replied, sometimes, short messages, a thumbs up, or just silence. Then one night I opened Twitch out of habit. There she was, live, streaming alone. Her overlay was different, more polished, more professional. Her username had changed to just Leah Ray. No warning, no heads up, no, "Hey, you cool if I go live solo?" The title said, "Solo grind, let's go." She was playing Valorant, joking with chat, laughing like she always did, like she used to laugh with me. I hesitated, then typed a simple, "Yo," into the chat. It scrolled past unnoticed, or maybe ignored. That night, I stared at the ceiling for hours, trying not to overthink. Maybe it was a one-off. Maybe I was being needy. Maybe she needed space to grow. But deep down, I knew what was happening. I just didn't want to name it yet. Then came the full rebrand. Our Twitch bio, once a goofy inside joke-laced intro about us being just two gremlins trying to survive Twitch, became a sleek, stylized description of her. Streamer, creator, full-time chaos. The banner changed, the profile pic was updated. Our YouTube channel stopped uploading. No collabs, no updates, just her. All her. And I was gone. She never told me, never explained, never said, "Hey, I think I need to do this alone." She just moved on. Quietly, cleanly, and somehow that silence was louder than any argument could have been. Still, I kept up appearances. I double-tapped her posts. I left comments like "Queen" or "Miss you on stream, LOL." I smiled when mutuals brought her up. I told people we were still friends, that we were just on different paths. But inside it felt like I was clinging to a memory that was walking away from me with each new milestone she hit. The strange part? I was proud of her. Like genuinely. She was doing the thing, building a platform, getting noticed. She found her rhythm, her aesthetic, her audience. And she was killing it. But pride has a shadow. And in that shadow, I felt like I was shrinking. Not because I wanted what she had, but because she used to want it with me. We used to dream together, scream into our mics during a successful stream raid, cry laughing over glitchy game bugs. That world belonged to both of us. Now, it felt like I was watching it all from behind glass. Another username in chat, another forgotten co-op partner. And the question that kept echoing in my mind every time I saw her face in perfect lighting, holding up some sponsored drink with 20,000 people cheering in the comments was, when exactly did I stop being part of her story? Was it the day she signed her first brand deal? The night her stream hit 10K concurrent viewers? Or was it even earlier, when she realized she didn't need me anymore and just left me behind? I don't know when the drift started. I only know that one day I looked up and she was already gone. It was sometime in late February, one of those damp, gray Toronto nights that feel more like November than the cusp of spring, when we had our last real conversation. Not a passive comment, not a heart react under an Instagram reel, not a lol in a group chat. A real talk. Voices over the phone, layered with pauses that meant something. Awkward gaps that once would have been filled with laughter. The kind of talk that felt like a breath held for too long, finally let out. She called me out of nowhere. It was nearly midnight. I just shuffled into the kitchen in my old hoodie, microwaving a sad bowl of congealed mac and cheese that I didn't even want to eat. I wasn't expecting anything. And then my phone lit up. Leah, work BFF. Still saved like that, even though the work had long since faded. I stared at the screen for a moment too long. My thumb hovered, uncertain. Part of me thought it was a butt dial, a mistake, but she didn't hang up. So I picked up. "Hey," she said. Her voice was soft, familiar, almost like the Leah I remembered. The one who used to call me just to rant about some game bug or show me her latest disastrous eyeliner attempt. "Hey," I replied, more cautious than I wanted to be. It felt like walking into a room I used to live in but hadn't seen in months. The furniture familiar, but something off about the air. For a moment, neither of us said anything, just silence. That strange, loaded silence where both people are waiting for the other to break it. Then, she did. "I miss you," she blurted. Just like that. No build-up, no explanation. She said things had been chaotic. Overwhelming growth, endless meetings, brands reaching out, trying to build a team, trying to keep her head above the water. The pressure of success, the surprise of it. She hadn't expected things to take off the way they had, and when they did, she didn't know how to keep everything balanced. Somewhere along the way, she admitted, she started cutting ties with anything that didn't feel like it fit into her future, even things she cared about. Even me. I stood in my kitchen, the hum of the microwave long forgotten, and tried to process it. I wanted to say something sharp, something honest. I wanted to say, "You could have told me. You should have told me." But instead I just said, "Yeah, I get it." Because that's what you do when someone you love, even if you're not sure you still like them, reaches out like they might still care. You keep the door cracked open, just in case. We talked for nearly an hour. About everything and nothing, the way we used to. She told me how she nearly cried before her first big sponsored stream. How her new editor keeps mixing up her timestamps. How weird it is to have people recognize her voice in public. I told her about the job I applied for, a content assistant gig for a podcast I half liked. How I was still streaming now and then, but mostly for comfort. I told her I started journaling again. We even joked about our Minecraft bees. About the time we tried to build a cottagecore island and blew up half the terrain with a creeper. We laughed, and for a little while, it felt like time folded in on itself. Like we were back in her bedroom, sitting on the floor, mic cords tangled, faces glowing from the monitor light. Like she hadn't left me behind. Like we still belonged in each other's stories. When the call ended, she said, "Let's stream again. Like old times. Just us. Just for fun." And I believed her. I went to bed with my cheeks sore from smiling. For the first time in weeks, I slept without dreams. That was 4 months ago. She hasn't called since. Not once. No texts, no pings, nothing. And somehow, the echo of that one good night hurt more than all the silence before it ever did. By April, Leah wasn't just popular, she was everywhere. Not just Twitch, not just a YouTube clip here or a fan cam there. She was an ecosystem. Her face became a reaction GIF. Her quotes were TikTok sounds. Her laugh, the very same laugh I used to hear through crackly Discord calls, had become a viral ringtone in some circles. She even popped up on a panel for a tech conference I didn't even know streamers got invited to. Like wildfire doesn't even cover it. It was a full-on media storm. I'd scroll through my feed just trying to catch up on art tutorials or dog memes, and there she was. Her face perfectly lit. Her voice narrating ad spots for gamer chairs and matcha energy drinks. Her name tagged in drama threads, fandom threads, marketing threads. And the kicker? I wasn't even following her anymore. Algorithms don't care about emotional distance. And she looked different, or maybe too polished. Her whole vibe was leveled up, cinematic. She had soft fill light glow, impeccable background bokeh, her hair done in a way that screamed, "A team helped with this." Was it a stylist? PR manager? Probably both. She wore layered necklaces now, minimalist nail art. There were still moments where her old self peeked through. A goofy eyebrow wiggle, a snort laugh. But they felt like artifacts, relics of the girl I knew. The messy buns? Replaced by clean, side-parted ponytails. The 2 a.m. Discord pings to troubleshoot OBS? Gone. The shared playlists we used to update together? Stagnant. Those tiny shared rituals, the glue of us, were nowhere to be seen. But the world adored her. That much was clear. And I'll admit it, part of me still did too. Not in a bitter way, in that complicated, aching way where you miss a version of someone who may never have existed outside your bubble. I kept thinking about all the little moments, like the time she broke down crying on stream after a dog died in a cutscene, or how she once tried to freestyle rap over Stardew Valley music and nearly choked from laughing. Those were the raw, chaotic, human bits, the real Leah. I tried to tell myself I was happy for her, but then I watched that interview. It was on a mid-tier gaming channel, one of those streamers to watch segments. She was wearing a blazer like she was running for office. The host asked about her beginnings. I leaned in. My heart actually sped up, like maybe she'd say it. Mention us. Me. Our start. She smiled and said, "I started solo, just messing around with League and some chill community games. It wasn't serious at first." My stomach dropped. That one sentence hit harder than it should have. I paused the video, rewound, played it again, word for word. I started solo. I waited for the next sentence to redeem it, to correct the erasure, but it never came. No mention of the caffeine-fueled nights we pulled perfecting her first stream overlay. No hint of our Duo Doom horror marathon that made us cry laugh until sunrise. No nod to the countless times I stayed up editing her VODs when her PC crashed. Not a whisper. It wasn't that I'd been forgotten. I'd been deleted. Like we were never a team. Like none of it mattered. And maybe to her it didn't. That realization gutted me more than I expected. Because when lovers walk away, you brace for impact. You build guardrails. But when best friends fade, especially the kind you built something with, there's no protection. No script for that grief. I didn't log into anything for 3 days. No socials, no Discord. I muted every notification. Turned my phone face down like it might burn me. When I walked outside, everything felt too loud. The streetcars, the buzz of cafe chatter, even birdsong grated on me. My brain kept looping one thought. She erased me. She got famous and erased me. I told myself I needed a screen detox. But really, I needed a break from her shadow, from the echo of someone who used to be my whole world, now repackaged as a brand I couldn't recognize or reach. And somewhere deep down, I started to ask a question I wasn't ready to answer. What if the person you miss never really missed you back? It started with a comment, just one, tucked beneath one of Leah's TikToks, a fan edit of her sipping boba and giggling midstream, all filtered to pastel perfection. The comment read, "Didn't she used to stream with someone else?" That was it. A sentence. A spark. A digital whisper. But online, whispers don't stay quiet. They grow legs. They morph into questions, into threads, into receipts. The replies came quick. Curious ones at first, then nostalgic. People asking, wait, wasn't there another girl in her older clips? Someone with a sharp memory and an even sharper hard drive posted a screenshot of us from a co-op Phasmophobia stream. Our faces small in the corner, our screams much louder than our strategies. My old handle hovered under my video frame. It still stung to see it. That video hit 12K views in under 24 hours. Then someone stitched a clip of Leah's recent interview, where she said, crystal clear, "I started solo, just messing around with League. It wasn't serious at first." Right next to that, us, laughing, dying in game, supporting each other in the chaos of it all. Suddenly, the internet caught the scent of a story, and the internet loves a story. Did Leah erase her friend from her origin story? Why pretend she started alone? Was this friendship a stepping stone she just discarded? It wasn't a witch hunt, not at first. Most comments weren't venomous, just confused, thoughtful, disappointed even. People weren't mad she got famous. They were mad she made it sound like she climbed alone, when anyone with an internet connection could dig up the truth. Reddit threads multiplied. Discord chats dissected our entire timeline, dates, uploads, collabs. Fan sleuths did side-by-side voice comparisons like we were cold cases. Even YouTubers jumped in, making commentary videos with titles like The Forgotten Friend, Leah's Rise and Erased Past. And in those spaces, my name resurfaced. I started getting tagged, DM'd, emailed, people asking for my side, asking if I was okay, if I wanted to talk. A few streamers reached out offering solidarity. One guy, a podcast host I vaguely knew from a convention, said he'd fly me out for a redemption arc episode, as if I was some buried protagonist finally getting screen time. I didn't respond to any of it, not out of spite, not because I didn't have things to say, but because I didn't want to be dragged into a spotlight that wasn't mine. Not like that. It wasn't about drama for me. It was about grief. Quiet, private, uninstagrammable grief. And honestly, I didn't want to be her cautionary tale, or her villain, or her forgotten footnote turned trending hashtag. I just wanted peace. Then came her statement. A Notes app screenshot posted to her Instagram story. White text on gray. No photo, no video. Just words. She wrote, "In a recent interview, I misspoke. I want to clarify that I deeply value all the friendships and collabs from my early days in streaming. I wouldn't be where I am without those moments." She tagged a few people we used to know. I wasn't one of them. That was the confirmation I didn't know I needed. She didn't forget me. She erased me, intentionally. She chose to acknowledge others, but not the person who was there before it all worked. Before the sponsorships and the agencies, before the cameras got sharper and the jokes got rehearsed. And weirdly, that absence gave me clarity. I didn't cry this time, didn't shut off my phone or disappear into old VODs. I just sat in my chair, stared at her story for a full minute, and whispered, "Got it." Then I turned toward my setup. The ring light had dust on it. My mic was a little off-center. My OBS layout still had the same default scene I'd made ages ago. Plain, functional, honest. I adjusted my chair, plugged everything in, and I went live. Not to expose her, not to clear my name, just to take my space back. To speak again in my own voice. To remind myself, and maybe others, that I was never invisible, just quiet. Until now. Going live that night wasn't some dramatic comeback. I had no trending hashtags, no countdown timer, no dramatic tweet to build anticipation. Just me, sitting at my old desk, a dusty mic clamped onto a shaky boom arm, and a 720p webcam that hadn't seen daylight in months. My viewer count hovered around 4, and I'm pretty sure one of them was a bot and another was me, watching from a second tab. But I didn't care. For the first time in a long while, I felt okay just showing up. I didn't start by addressing Leah. I didn't drop any names, didn't hint at betrayal or drama or missed credits. I booted up Stardew Valley. That same pixelated little farm we used to co-manage when the streams were still a two-person show. Back when the biggest crisis was who forgot to water the blueberries. Now, though, the place was in shambles. Crops withered, fences broken, half the chickens were gone. It was a ghost farm. In a weird way, it mirrored me, but I talked. Quietly at first, like I was rediscovering the shape of my own voice. Then I laughed, genuinely, after telling a story about that one time I tripped on stage during a con panel and nearly took out a mic stand. I shared the story about spilling Red Bull on my keyboard mid-speed run and trying to finish with a sticky spacebar. I kept reading chat even when it was slow. I greeted each name that popped up like an old friend. And then it happened. A whisper in chat. From a username I didn't recognize. No emojis, no caps lock, just, "You deserved better, but I'm glad you're back." I froze for a second, not because it hurt, but because it healed something. A quiet, anonymous kindness that felt louder than any trending topic. I don't know if it was someone from the old days, maybe someone who'd been there in the background during the chaos, or maybe it was just a kind stranger, someone who pieced together enough of the story to understand. Either way, their words stayed with me. They still do. Weeks passed. I kept streaming. Slowly at first, 1 or 2 a week, then more. The numbers didn't spike, but they grew. 10 viewers, then 20, sometimes 50. Not because of pity, not because people were looking for drama, but because they liked the space, the quiet, the honesty. And I liked being there. Just me. No character to play, no narrative to uphold. I was done performing for people who had already written me out. And that's the strange thing about being erased. At first, it guts you, makes you question if you were ever real in the first place. But then, in the stillness that follows, you begin to see how much of yourself you've been offering up for free, how many parts of your story you gave away without asking for anything in return. So now, I'm reclaiming it, not with big declarations or exposés, but with quiet, persistent presence. One lo-fi, unfiltered stream at a time, one awkward joke at a time, one real moment at a time. Leah? She's still out there, thriving, signing sponsorships, taking red carpet selfies. She hasn't said a word about me, and I doubt she ever will. Her version of the past doesn't have room for me anymore, and that's okay. I'm not streaming to be seen by her. I'm doing it to see myself again. And maybe, just maybe, someone else out there needs to see me too. Needs to hear this. If you've ever been made invisible in someone else's rise, if you've ever been the silence behind another person's spotlight, if you've ever wondered whether your part in the story mattered at all, let me tell you, it did. You do. And your voice? It's still yours. Take it back. Open your mic. Hit go live. Even if only 4 people show up. Even if one of them is a bot. Especially then. And now, I want to ask you, have you ever felt like someone rewrote your story without your permission? Have you ever stayed silent to keep the peace? And then realized the cost? Tell me what you would have said if the mic had been yours. I'm listening.